Welcome to a terrible wrestling show. This is episode 3, I think. This is the Bad Blood 2024 episode where we're going to be talking about our thoughts on the storylines heading into the pay-per-view as well as our predictions as always. Joining with me here at the start of the show, we got John from GameStatic. John, what's going on, dude?
Oh, I'm more than anything, I'm curious to see you and if anybody else pops in. I'm really curious to see people's kind of vibe for this show.
That's fair. I'm kind of wondering the same thing. Another lighter card, but I think there's some. I think there's some interesting vibes about it. Is the right way to put it. So I'm kind of with you on that. I think Shane's gonna be popping in. Beyond that, I'm not sure who else could be popping in. I guess we'll see as the show goes on. But it is going to be an interesting vibe show. Right off the top, I do apologize. I am a little under the weather, so hence my voice might sound a little weird, but it is what it is. We're here. We're out here grinding, getting the show done. If you could, make sure to check out our Patreon down in the description below, and we'd appreciate that extra support as well. Subscribe to the channel, ATSN, as well as the Sparky3 channel, and we'd appreciate that support as well. So John, let's jump into stuff. How have you felt about some of these storylines, leading up? Like, let's just start off with what I feel like me and you will be on the same page on. How have you felt about, like, let's say Punk and McIntyre's storyline that's been ongoing for a while?
Honestly, I mean, it's I still want to see the match, like, but I'm also kind of like this. We've been dancing back and forth doing this for what, like 8 months now.
Yeah,
And to be fair, it's been entertaining for the most part. Uh, Leading into this show, like I do like that the kind of the tone of this rivalry has changed to where it's less them each coming out back to back, or one of them comes out one week, talks about how much they hate the other and that, and it's kind of changed to where, yeah, they don't. They're both kind of like, don't really want to have to go into Hell in the Cell. Don't really want to have to, like, go in there. It be like they don't want to go to that place. Is what they both kind of seem like.
right.
But at the same time, they're both kind of like it. I mean, it's happening, so I hope you're prepared for what's going to happen to you.
Right.
Uh, I mean, it's probably at least for me, the best rivalry on that's happening on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the match I'm most looking forward to.
Kicks off the show too, so you don't have to wait long for it.
Kind of wish it closed.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors that it was going to be the closing match.
I wish it was the closing match, mainly because with how much they've been hyping it up, or like with how as this rivalry's gone on, it's been more and more brutal. I expect this gonna be like I expect a fairly brutal match, and the way they've been talking, I'm kind of expecting it to be a bit of a bloody match too.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to me, that just kind of seemed like a main event slot as opposed to going first.
Right. And I'll be honest, like I think it was really going to possibly be that main event, like not only because of all the hype around it, it's the trifecta of this rivalry and everything, it's the poster. I think there are some other implications that made Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and the Bloodline going on last. Like I think it's possible that we could see the return of The Rock this show.
It,
I think
it,
that's a possibility.
yeah, it some somebody's showing up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's like somebody's showing up. There's got to be a big name coming out as the closing angle. Otherwise, Hell in the Cell should close the show.
Right. I do think it's going to be the Hell in the Cell match. I do think it's going to be a damn like brutal match, which is what you would. I think it's going to be like a very solid, like almost 30-minute match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would hope so. Mainly, the main reason I say that is it's kind of the fact that the way it's been presented, the way they've talked about it, uh, it's made kind of the aura of Hell in a Cell like more than just a stipulation, more
Right.
than just hey we're gonna be in a cage. They're making it seem like it's meant to be brutal. Going into Hell in a Cell, you got to go to that dark place that you don't want to be just to survive, which does like could come across like honestly if it wasn't for this kind of McIntyre Punk kind of blood feud that's been we've had a year of them going back and forth on. Yeah, some of the promos that have been going on could have come across as kind of corny,
True.
but they've definitely made the stakes feel real.
Yeah.
That one of them might not come out.
Right. I'm just glad we're past the bracelet thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just glad we're
I,
done with that.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I'm glad that's over. It was it was funny in the first match.
Yep.
Last I was pitching, keep the bracelet thing going. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that part is over. When it comes to this match, though, like obviously we'll get into our actual predictions here in a bit, but like the thing I've been thinking about so much is like, man, who's going to come out on this? Because it's like I don't feel like either guy needs it per se, but I also feel like both guys need it, right? Like I don't know, it's kind of tough. We're at that
Yeah,
we're at that 1-1 right now. Where the stakes are high, right? Like this, and the thing that also sucks about that as well is like I feel like anytime you finish a feud like this and it ends with that 2-1, isn't it always like an awkward passing of it's just like, all right, well now they're going to kind of do their separate things, even though they hate each other. You know what I mean? Like it's just almost like an awkward thing of them kind of going their separate ways once the feud's kind of done. You know what I mean?
yeah. I will say I kind of got that feeling of I'm more leaning one way than the other, mainly just because at least one of them has already tried to set up a next feud,
That's true.
or at least something that they're aiming for. Uh, for me, it's kind of foregone conclusion almost, but maybe they can surprise me.
Right. And we got Jacob from Animan Plus and a terrible football show joining the show, driving
Hell yeah.
driving home from the looks of it.
Not driving home. I am driving back to the warehouse.
Oh, he's still working. He's working that Amazon life. Well, we are talking about Punk and Drew's rivalry. How are you feeling about this trifecta match coming into Bad Blood?
It's been one of the better rivalries in recent time. But I thought it was weird that Punk was even on NXT. Also,
Oh,
apologies if you hear my turn signal.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Like Punk McIntyre has been, I would say up until recently, it was probably my favorite feud that had been happening this year.
Yeah.
Until Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed kind of decided to go on a month-long tear
True.
and make essentially just make Raw the most exciting show, even though it kind of already was.
Right.
They took it to another level though. But up until then, Punk Drew had probably been my favorite one of the year.
Right. Yeah, it's been. I feel like when it's all said and done, because like honestly, even though they're about to finish up this feud, and kind of go their separate ways probably for a little bit. This feud's not going to ever actually be done, right? Like they're probably going to cross paths again at some point, but it's going to be more of like in a world title picture kind of vibe, not them just wanting to like kill each other. Like that's going to be the beauty of it, is that they're going to probably cross paths again at some point. Also, speaking of Raw and being the best show, shout out to 3-hour Raws being done now. Shout out to that.
Also, shout out to Raw having one of the lowest viewerships that it's had in a long time.
Was that this past one?
Yeah,
I didn't see the numbers.
they barely cracked 1 million.
Oh, well, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Kind of a shocker. It's been pretty solid over there on Raw from what I've seen.
Well, a lot of it had to do with the match card was not very good at all,
Yeah.
and also the Braun Strowman Bronson Reed match where the ring collapse was kind of eh.
Yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Seth Rollins coming back too.
Yeah, I will say the match itself of the last monster standing, uh, little underwhelming compared to I think I kind of prefer just them brawling backstage every week. If like they needed to have a match to finish it off. I would be perfectly happy watching them two just it could be a backstage segment, something happened, and then just them brawl through the background.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. Oh, also speaking of this past Raw, shout out to the new Intercontinental Championship with adding that blue in there. That was a good move.
Oh, it looks so nice.
That little bit of blue is all it needed. You know what I mean? I haven't been a fan of that IC title since they introduced it, but that blue is all it needed, man. That little
Well,
splash of color.
the IC title change was perfect for Gunther.
Yeah.
It matched his vibe. Now, if this is like the permanent style going forward and it's not just Jay's, I'd be okay with that.
Right. I
Did you guys already talk about the NXT titles?
No. You know, we literally jumped in and just started kind of talking about the storylines for Bad Blood.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, talking about, you know, Punk and Drew here, you know, to also catch Shane up on it, who Shane just now popped in. Shane, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, so all we've really talked about is Punk and Drew so far. But yes, shout out to NXT and everything that went down in NXT. Shout out to Punk doing the GTS as the confetti was falling. That was funny.
Shout out to yet another era in NXT.
True. Man, Trick Williams is on a whole different level, man. He's on top of the world.
I tell you what, though, NXT has not been able to capture what they used to have when it was black and gold.
Yeah, I feel like I've never personally been huge in NXT. I've always followed it from the outside. I feel like NXT 2.0 has never been on the same level as the black and gold.
Oh no! I when it was black and gold, when it was like Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, all of those guys. That was when it was at its height, and I only watched NXT at that time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch SmackDown or Raw. I didn't care what was going on in the main roster.
Right. Well, still talking
Also,
about.
apologies if there's any audio shit going on in my end, because I'm in a giant utility van right now.
You're good. It's actually not too bad, honestly. The quality is actually impressively good. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a Ford Transit van.
like the sound quality is actually quite impressive for the situation. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you right now.
That's shocking.
But going back to the main card and like Bad Blood, does anyone give a fuck about Bailey and Nia Jax? Be honest with me. Does anyone fucking care?
Nope. Hey, I like Bailey. Don't like Nia Jax. Don't think she's champion.
Same.
Hey.
I agree with Jacob.
I'm actually the reverse right now. I'm in favor of current Nia Jax.
Oh, okay.
I have been enjoying what I've seen of her in recent months.
Okay.
I just don't think she has any mic skills.
Yeah, her wrestling is subpar at best, and her promos are god awful. Like literally worse than the business right now.
See, I like Bailey. I like Bailey a lot, right? But I just don't. I don't give a fuck about this whole feud because the only thing I give a fuck is I want to see the feud take it to the next level with Tiffany turning against Nia, and I think it's coming very soon, potentially this weekend.
No.
I
That's gonna last
am
a
going
while.
to go on I'm gonna go on a whim and say it'll probably be either Survivor Series or Rumble.
I mean, I can see that. I can see it lasting a while, but I could also see it happening very soon. That's the part of this feud that I give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about Bailey coming back for this feud.
I mean, I think the Bad Blood PLE, I almost call it pay-per-view.
Yeah, we're in new times. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Get with it, right? I think the Bad Blood PLE is a great time for Tiffany to turn on her.
Yeah, Bad Blood. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name, sure, but I think she needs to keep a hold of that Tiffy Time briefcase a little longer. Because you guys know, it's all about the money.
It is about the money.
Yeah.
It's about the merch.
I think also you could. I've heard rumors on the down low that maybe we could see a Jimmy coming back, during this whole bloodline going on. So, it could be a situation to where it's after the match, and then Jimmy gets his bad blood against Solo for putting him down for so many months. So that's something.
Jimmy coming back would make sense right now, considering that the next big one is Survivor Series, so they're going to need him as a number. So him coming back for Bad Blood would make perfect sense.
Okay, but is it going to be Jimmy that comes back, or is it going to be The Rock that comes back? Because I feel like it's going to be The Rock.
I feel like I feel like he would probably come back on a SmackDown or some random show like that. I think they're going to give Jimmy the pop at Bad Blood.
Like, see, like I wanna say that it's going to be Jimmy, right? And I don't want to just fall for, I don't want to follow all the breadcrumbs that's being literally dumped in front of me. But like, I can't help it. I want to follow the breadcrumbs that's been dumped right in front of me of where like, it was like constantly rumored. Is it going to be Drew and Punk for the main event? Is it going to be Cody and the Bloodline and Roman for the main event? And then it got confirmed it was Cody, Roman, and the Bloodline. And then Cody Rhodes saying on the Pat McAfee show that this main event's going to have some implications with Crown Jewel that's coming up. So I don't know, man. I can't help but to feel like, is that all set? Like, is it right in front of our face that The Rock's about to come back?
Okay, first and foremost, just to get this out of the way, who cares about Crown Jewel? Let me see a show of hands here.
All right, like if we could actually watch it, because correct me if I'm wrong, we can't watch it, right? Like besides bootlegging it, we can't watch that thing, can we? Because I've never seen it.
Yeah,
on Peacock.
We can.
It's on Peacock because I've never fucking seen it.
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
I swear to God, I thought that was like the one show that we could not watch.
I think you may have been looking somewhere else for it.
Okay, well, no, I don't give a fuck about Crown Jewel.
Not at all.
I don't really care about any of the Saudi events, but what I am glad about with the Saudi events is that the crowds have gotten tremendously better since the first couple.
I agree.
True. I agree to that.
I just wish that there would be more importance with, the pay-per-views that are abroad. Because it always seems like the match cards, are predictable as shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they are. I mean, those cards are literally just about money and fan service, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
big
hopefully with how some of the events have been for the last, or at least in the last year or so, like Backlash, Bash in Berlin, it's like some of these shows with these super hot crowds. Hopefully we get a bit more actual storylines going on at these shows.
Yeah.
As opposed to just we got our money and we're gonna put a couple people who are from here in the show.
So, see, that's also why I think The Rock's coming back at this show. Because if The Rock's gonna be on a PLE coming up, dude, it's gonna be Crown Jewel. Because that's where all the money's at. That's what Saudi will pay a lot of money to get certain superstars there. So that's why I feel like it's gonna be The Rock. God, we are just losing people left and right. We lost Jacob, we lost Shane. Now Shane's back. What is happening?
I don't know. Your camera was frozen for me a minute ago, but it's back now.
Okay.
Yeah, I left because your camera was frozen.
Oh, it looks fine on my side. I don't know, boys. Something's wild happening here today.
Yeah, I would like to think that The Rock's coming back. It would make. I would almost think it would make more sense for Jimmy to come back. Get get him in there so that you have some numbers for Survivor Series, and then maybe as it's like when we get kind of like or yeah, if we get Bloodline versus Bloodline, maybe The Rock comes back then towards like after everybody's in, and like something happens there. I would
Yeah, that's,
almost expect that.
yeah, that's what I'd expect too. Because like you would have to think like if The Rock comes back right at Bad Blood, in order to progress the story the way they would want to, I would think they probably have to have him on. Maybe not every week, but maybe at least every other week. And I don't think that's in Rock's schedule right now. But who knows? 2 months down the line, or whenever Survivor Series is, it could be a little bit better off. And plus, if he comes back at Survivor Series for his, you know, like what CM Punk did last year, just for his grand entrance at the very end,
Right.
and then he can start kind of going from there. So,
Well, on the one plus side about his potential schedule is like, Crown Jewel is on November 2nd. So, I mean, that's only 3 weeks, Right. Yeah, no, that's 4 SmackDowns. So, I feel like if he at least makes 2 SmackDowns, I feel like that's doable, That's my personal opinion. I feel like 2 out of 4 SmackDowns, before Crown Jewel, I feel like that's doable. I feel like that's fair.
what y'all think about? I don't know. Do you have a script for the show, or is it just kind of
No,
winging it?
no, just
We
winging it.
we just gotta jump
Dude,
around.
I've been sick all
Okay.
week. I don't care. Let's roll.
What y'all think about the ending of Raw with Seth Rollins coming back?
I'm stoked for it. I love Seth. I'm glad that he's
So my
back.
thing is like, where does he go? Like, he's
Yeah,
got
like
this beef now with
yeah,
Bronson,
he's gonna
right?
get quick revenge on Bronson, and then it's just like, where does he go from there? That's the question.
Yeah. Then that's what I was wondering. Like, does he continue this thing with Bronson, or does he go back to his feud with McIntyre and Punk? Like, or does he go after Gunter for the world heavyweight? Like, what is he doing? Like, where does he fit in? Especially because like I think it was mentioned last show. Like, I strongly think that he could very well be one for Roman Reigns' side for the Bloodline battle. Like, that's definitely a possibility. So, if that's the case, where does that fit in? So, I'm kind of lost on Seth Rollins' whole storyline right now.
I think he's gonna be. He's definitely going. We gotta be battling Bronson Reed. I don't. It's like I don't know how long that'll be. It may be a couple week little feud that he has with that. I don't think he jumps immediately in for like Gunther because like we've kind of got 2 people potentially set up as Gunther challengers right now, or at least after this show. So I think we've got a bit of a roadmap laid out for what Gunther's going to be up to. So I think Seth Rollins is going to be preoccupied with Bronson Reed, and then potentially against he may come down for Punk or Drew just to keep him busy for a little while, and then see where he goes from there.
And that's another thing. Like, do y'all truly see? Sorry, kids are playing with a Frozen doll. Don't want to get copyrighted. Can't handle another lawsuit on another show.
Right. We don't need that to happen again.
Exactly. But anyways,
Don't
like,
fuck with the mouse.
yeah, do we truly believe, like this Drew McIntyre and CM Punk thing is going to be done after Bad Blood?
Well, see, that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like I feel like they're gonna go their separate ways for now, but that's one of those feuds that I don't think is gonna end at Bad Blood. Like it'll end for a little bit. Maybe they'll get like do something else for the moment, but like I don't think it's done. I don't think it's one of those feuds that you'll end.
I think they're gonna separate. Drew's gonna get distracted with somebody else that catches his ire, and then from there, eventually they'll come back. Like there'll be some match or backstage segment or something that where Punk says something and Drew just like it rubs him the wrong way and he'll come back out. I could I could see them separating for a bit and then Punk, Drew, and Seth Rollins coming back together for like a three-way feud.
I think that's where it's heading, though. Like for WrestleMania, it's got to be a triple threat with those guys. I feel like that's where it's going, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean more than likely that I see that as a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I can see it as a WrestleMania match, but I think that just falls under like, in my thing, I still truly believe that CM Punk is part of this bigger picture somehow with the Bloodline. So like, if that's the case, would he do another 2-day fucking? Would he be main event both days in the fucking WrestleMania?
you mean Seth Rollins?
Yes, that's wrong. Sorry,
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, where does CM Punk fit into the bloodline right
sorry.
now?
I meant Seth Rollins. I'm sorry.
See, when it comes to that thing, man, I'm like, I totally feel you on how Seth can fit into that picture, right? Like it makes sense. But I'm still in the boat that it's going to be Cody Rhodes that fits into that picture. And I feel like Cody and Roman meeting on like an equal battleground to, squash, in a mutual enemy, I feel like is the first, domino to fall on that. Like, cause like my mind's, I don't remember if I said it last episode, but like when I look at Cody Roman teaming up, I look at John Cena and The Rock teaming up, right? Where it was all hyped up. It's like never before, never again. And it's kind of the same thing, except it's going to probably happen again. And it'll be Cody
100%.
Rhodes, teaming with the OG bloodline at Survivor Series. That's my thought. Because like I feel like them teaming up for Bad Blood, I feel like it's just the first domino to fall in this. Like that's my stance on him.
I think it really depends on what they do with the match.
Yeah, I mean the match will dictate
tomorrow.
on if my feeling on this is anywhere close to being accurate or not.
Saturday, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought today was Friday.
I wish it was Friday.
Yeah.
Facts.
Not necessarily that I want to kind of jump off the like the whole bloodline conversation and kind of Seth Rollins and everything. I gotta ask though. We basically have 2 Judgment Day matches
Yep.
on this card. Are you guys at all interested in these matches?
No.
So I will say,
the size says a lot.
yeah. So I mean, I guess this is just the average, stereotypical male wrestling fan, right? I think there's 2 things that male wrestling fans are interested in, right? Storylines, women's storylines. Like, so in my opinion, I think this Rhea Liv match draws my interest a lot more than the Finn and Priest match. So,
I mean,
like the Finn and Priest match, it is what it is. Like I would love to see, Priest win that fight, plain and simple, basically. Like other than that, I don't really care. The Liv and Rhea fight with Dom in a shark cage above the ring, like, that shit's gonna be epic. That's something I want to watch.
the main reason I was asking is because, like, previously when we had the mixed tag match, I was saying Liv and Dom had to win that because if they won that match, then we had a reason to have these matches now, or at least the Priest Balor match. It's like, but Priest and Rhea won. They've shown over and over again Judgment Day is no threat to them, really. They just keep getting in the same situation where they turn their back, get attacked by 4 people, and then kind of get beat up on.
I see it. I see the whole Judgment Day storyline right now, kind of like a one of those big ass Southern Arkansas mosquitoes, right? Like it comes through, it bites you, and it lashes on long enough for you to swat it and to slap it, and it buzzes away for a few seconds, and it comes back and wants some more. Like that's what I feel like the Judgment Day is. Like they get beat up, in an actual match. Then they do some sneaky side ring or backstage stuff, and then that sparks another match. Then they get beat up on that match, and it's just rinse and repeat over and over and over and over again. That's what I kind of feel like.
Yeah, because the other thing that irritates the hell out of me is, again, on another PLE, we got Judgment Day. Like this time, we got members of Judgment Day in 2 separate matches. One of the people in one of the matches is half of the tag team champions, and yet we've got more time going by where those belts are just hung up in the Judgment Day with them not defending it and nothing ever happening.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, outside of, I mean, let's be honest, the last, I would say 10 years to be generous, the tag champions on both ends, women's and men's, hasn't really been relevant.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
just like it's irritating. Like I get irritated with it because it's now we got the tag titles and the women's championship being held hostage by Judgment Day.
You could say
It's
the
like,
same thing with the bloodline too.
yeah, but it's like currently nothing is happening with these belts. These belts are never being defended. At least on SmackDown, they'll have matches with different tag teams, but it's like
Yeah.
you know they're not losing it. But I mean, you put Judgment Day in a match with tag belts on the line, there's every chance they'll lose it because they never win.
Yeah, it's like the new Raw announcer. Who is that? Joe, what's his name?
Joe Tessitore.
Joe Tessitore.
Dude, he's been killing it, and I love how he really dials into the tag team champions. Any chance he gets, he makes sure to mention, yeah, they've defended these belts one time in 100 days. Good
I
job,
know
guys.
it's so irritating, like them not defending it. Not. I love Tessitore. Yeah, no, it's just like towards the end of last year, I was getting a little old of Judgment Day, but they were kind of dragging me back in, getting kind of enjoying it a bit again. I am so over these storylines right now.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's like
yeah,
when
like
when,
the
when
only time I was really interested in the whole Judgment Day storyline was when, like, Rhea and Priest got kicked out, because I was like, okay, yeah, that's over with. Judgment Day's done. Like, heck yeah, we can actually see these people compete in maybe a regular tag match or go in their singles way. Finn, like, deserves such a much better storyline than what he's getting with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's like Finn occasionally wins a match because Judgment Day interference or something. It's like I would like to see him be able to separate himself from there. It's like Judgment Day kind of implosion. He could even, it's like if he needed to disappear for a couple months or something to get people to kind of forget the Judgment Day aspect of him and him come back and kind of either do his singles, like try to do a singles run, or you could even pair him back up with JD McDonough outside of the Judgment Day and kind of let them go on a run by themselves where they're not a part of that group. Because they can have, it's like they have good matches when they're there. It's just every time Judgment Day is in the ring, you're just waiting on the like 3 people to show up and interfere.
I saw this thing the other day on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, where it was when, I want to say it was when Finn came down. No, it wasn't Finn. I don't know what it was. Basically, it was a conspiracy saying that Carlito and JD McDonough was going to get replaced here soon from the Judgment Day. I forgot the names that they gave it to that was going to replace them, but the names that they did say, from what I can remember, I liked it. I thought that would be a genius idea, but I forgot what the name was. But I think the only thing that could ignite that again, like, honestly, outside of the Judgment, like the main Judgment Day storyline, I like their confrontation with LWO, right? And now since we know that the Lucha Brothers or whatever, the Lucha Dragon Brothers or something like
Lucha
that. I forgot.
Brothers. Yeah. Lucha
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah, they signed with WWE's main roster. They're not going to NXT. We're just kind of waiting to see where they land, whether it's SmackDown or Raw. I like to see them, potentially maybe replacing a member or two of the LWO and them maybe getting into that. I think that would make that interesting.
I know in terms of like your conspiracy theories, one that I saw, I don't remember if it was TikTok or X or Twitter,
Over there.
was that JD had like alternative motives with the Judgment Day based on like a couple of like interactions where it's like there was one where like when they were all four of them coming down to the ring, he was looking at Liv and stuff a certain way, and Liv kind of looked at him, and then like whenever they were going to celebrate, JD wouldn't hug Dom, and I'm just like, if there was anybody in that group that you would want to be like the one that goes kind of rogue and because he wants Liv, I'm telling you, it's not going to be JD. I mean, I feel like you're kind of reaching on that one. I like
Yeah.
JD as a wrestler. Like he's actually pretty skilled in the ring, but it's not going to be JD, my guy.
No, that dude looks like a bobblehead.
Yeah, it would be Finn before it would be JD. Like, let's be real here. But I did see something like that. That was pretty interesting, though. But no, in terms of like the Judgment Day storylines for Bad Blood, I just don't really give a fuck about them. Like, I think Liv and Rhea is going to be a good match. Like, let's be real, it's going to be a good match. But like, I feel like the end result is written in our faces. It's Liv's going to retain in some way. Like I think I said it
for sure.
last episode or the first episode of this terrible show. I don't remember, but like, look, man, I'm calling it. Rhea's not going to win this title again until WrestleMania. I mean, that's my mindset. Like she's going to be on the chase. Like Liv's going to win this.
And I think even at one point she may even lose the number one contender, right? I think she'll lose it and then have to win the Rumble to get back into it.
Yeah, like
So-
that's another thing too, because like if that is the case and Rhea's just going to be on the chase the whole time, you can't just make it where Liv's just battling Rhea the whole time. Liv's got to battle someone else. You know what I mean? Or like her range is going to get stale. Which I think there's some possibilities. I saw someone throughout the possibility that Raquel was going to come back and side with Liv.
I was literally just about to say that.
So
yeah.
I've seen conversation around that too. So that could be how Liv wins this weekend. Is like Raquel comes back and she sides with Liv, and it then sets up for Raquel and Rhea to kind of duke it out maybe, and then Liv to kind of go do something else with someone else or whatever. It's like there's possibilities there. For Priest and Finn, like I don't really have a read on how this is going to go. In my mind, I feel like you got to have Finn win it because it's like he has no credibility right now, and this gives him a little credibility to have this feud go on a little bit longer. But at the same time, I just don't give a fuck about it like I thought I would. Like this match of Finn and Damian, like number one, I didn't want it to just be a basic singles match, and number two, like I thought we were going to build this up a little bit longer, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a lot of what you said I agree with. All I'll say is we're gonna have when we get to predictions, we're gonna have some interesting predictions.
Okay, here we go. Well, what about the last match on the card, though? I mean, we already kind of talked about Rock coming back. I mean, just overall, how are we feeling about this team up? I think it's cool. I thought the little cinematic video they shot at Georgia Tech Stadium, I thought that was sick. Like, I'm excited for this team up. I really am.
I will say, I'm gonna throw this out there. You may think I'm crazy. This might be the match on the card that I'm like, in my mind, is a coin flip.
I can see that. I don't think
It's
you're crazy
like
for saying that.
this match, they got. I mean, you could justify like Cody and Roman or New Bloodline. You could justify either one winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think out of this or the Priest and Finn match, I think those two matches are really the only like 50-50 in my opinion. They can go either way. But if I was to take a guess, I mean, I guess I'll say it in predictions or not now, but I think it does favor one side more than the other.
Right.
But
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, a little bit.
One side of this feud needs credibility.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts.
But yeah, I mean, as far as this feud goes, it's kind of, I was a little disappointed with the setup of the match initially because
good play.
when they did set the match up, or like when Aldous was coming around with the contract, saying he was going to talk to Roman, saying he was, and Cody comes in, he's just like, yeah, I have no interest in that, and then within a 2-minute like in ring segment, he's ready to sign the contract.
Right.
It's like I'm a little disappointed with how the match was set up.
I do
mean,
agree to
yeah,
that.
it's like it makes sense that this should be the match kind of happening. Uh, I don't necessarily like the setup.
I
It's like
agree to that.
it's kind of like they were like, we want to have this match. We'll figure it out. And then when it was time to figure it out, they went, we'll just do this.
Yeah, we'll just wing it.
I do feel that quite a bit. Like the setup really feels like it's just kind of a mess setup because I mean it was like a quick 180 from on Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean?
It was like in the span of 45 minutes. He went
Exactly.
from I have no interest in doing this to I'm gonna take control and end this.
Right. I
And
agree to
also, like, I think Raw's gonna have trouble. Like, they're either really gonna narrow in on these main storylines and kind of forget about the side storylines, or they're gonna have trouble finding time to tell these storylines during your weekly shows. Because, boys, last Monday was the last 3-hour Raw that
Yeah.
we're gonna have until January. So you're talking 2 months of 2-hour Raws.
The good news is, with it moving into 2 hours, hopefully we'll get less disqualifications, like matches ending in disqualification, and we can either just shorten those matches up so that they can actually have a finish, or we can just wait a week to put some of these matches on.
Yeah.
Because every week, at least one match has to end in disqualification.
Never fails.
So hopefully we can get away with some of that. And then yeah, there is a lot of kind of bluff time on Raw.
I agree.
I feel like there's been fluff time on Raw for a while. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the 2-hour show for Raw personally.
Yeah, I mean they get away with a lot of the fluff they have because they do some of these like shorter run stories like Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, where it's like, yeah, it may not last long, but my God, is it going to be the most entertaining thing on the show for that week?
Right.
And really, like, I like how they did that, right? Like, it really, like, you kind of saw Bronson kind of kick into that gear right before, what was the last pay-per-view?
That he was on.
No, like, just the last pay-per-view in general. I'm completely blanked. But he kind of went on that kind of spree right before that pay-per-view, and then right after the pay-per-view leading up into Bad Blood, like, that's when he started hurting people. Like, other than Seth Rollins. Like,
Bash
he
and
just
Berlin.
started just beating the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of like led up to this past Raw when. Also, I wish we were in a call watching the last Monday Night Raw, because the second I think Bronson Reed came out first, the second Bronson Reed stepped into that ring, I literally screamed out while my daughters were sleeping. Screamed out, "They're about to break the ring." Like, I knew it. The second he
Yeah,
took a
yeah.
step on that and it shook the way it did, I was like, yeah, they're about to break the ring. And then lo and behold, 25 minutes later, the ring breaks. But anyways, I think
Yeah.
the way they set that up, though, with having this really intricate story with Bronson Reed in the 3 or 4 weeks that we had in between these two pay-per-views was set up beautifully. I'm gonna be honest.
My biggest hope from that storyline is that Bronson and Seth is a real fun, exciting feud, that just I want to like if you're gonna put Bronson in this position, you're either putting him like prepping him to be your next mid card guy, or you're about to shoot him to the world title picture. I'm cool. I'm cool with either, honestly, as long as he keeps this energy. As long as he keeps this kind of fire and this personality he's got going right now, I would love to see a Bronson Reed try this destruction that he's been doing up against like a Gunther and just get slapped back down.
Right. I feel like Bronson's going to go up against Gunther at some point. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's inevitable.
I could see like him going through like a short Seth Rollins feud,
Yeah.
getting put into the world title picture, having a short little feud with Gunther, then comes back, starts destroying some of the like mid card guys again. I could see him as one of the next Intercontinental champions,
Right. And then put
and
Jay into another
I'm
picture.
hopeful that's gonna happen.
Right. I can see that. Do you guys want to go ahead and do our predictions now?
I was gonna say we can start jumping into that.
Yeah, I do want to mention one more thing.
Yep.
So two things that kind of throw me out for the loop because I really don't know where they're going with it. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. I don't know what kind of storyline they're getting into nowadays. They've been kind of popping up here and there at random areas. I know Randy's going to be on next week's NXT because it's going to be in St. Louis. And then also, it makes sense, but the Gunther Sami Zayn match at Bad Blood, like, it makes sense because, you know, Sami Zayn's the one that broke his IC title reign, but, like, come on, like, is he a true threat right now as Gunther's World Heavyweight Champion?
That's not that bad blood though.
That's on
That's on Raw.
That's on next Raw.
Yeah,
That's on
Raw.
the next Raw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
that I guess that we could make
it was
more sense, but
it was reported that they thought that that was gonna be put on to Bad Blood. Until this past week, I guess. But yeah, the thing is the Sammy Gunther for the world title this could have been a very exciting kind of feud to be like, yeah, I was the last person to pin you. I did take your title. You are trying to run from me. The problem is we can't. It's like you don't need to necessarily jump into that like 2 or 3 weeks after Sami Zayn has just lost the past 2 matches to I just blanked.
I mean, I kind of see where you're. I mean, with me, this is kind of what I'm thinking too. Me personally, I think they should have like this. Like with what I think they're trying to do with this match, they could have sat there and milked this thing. Like had Sami Zayn, come out during his title matches and not do anything, just sit there ringside. You know, like that type of aura for Sami Zayn, and just build this thing up to where it is a thing, right? And then we start seeing Gunther kind of, you know, in matches, he's looking over his shoulder for Sammy, like, where's Sammy? This kind of thing. And then they finally have a match. Maybe Gunther wins the first one, and then, but Sammy still continues doing the same thing, right? He's there during ringside. He's doing announce work, or he crosses Gunther backstage. There's something like to constantly let Gunther know, like, hey, I'm here. Like, you're not getting rid of me. I'm here. And then, you know, maybe 2-3 matches down, whatever it may be, Sami Zayn actually takes a title. Like, it doesn't have to be a long reign for Sami, but I think that would have been a great build-up for Sami. And I think he deserves it. And I think that would have been a great way to build it.
I kind of think they're trying to get this feud in there because I don't for a second believe that Sami Zayn is gonna beat Gunther in their match, but it feels like because I talked to Alex about this a little bit. It feels kind of like they called an audible to give Jay the Intercontinental Championship, because as much as I'm not a big fan of Jay's in-ring work, it is undeniable that he is overdue for a championship with how over he's been.
Yep.
And since Braun Breaker had beaten Sammy twice and then gets a short run, I'm assuming Jay's going to have a run to WrestleMania, maybe. Maybe a little bit longer. He's going to have a decent run, I think. And since they can't immediately pivot back and give Braun Breaker the title right away, they're just pushing him straight to the main event scene. Because he's already, it's like, he had his interaction with Gunther where he looks at him and he just says, "See you soon." So I think they're wanting to set that feud up.
Yeah.
But they have to get past the Sammy feud first, which it is, as much as I may not be like a huge fan of Sammy's work, mainly just because I haven't watched for a long time. I don't have that endearment to him. It is unfortunate that it kind of feels like he's an in-between challenger.
Yeah.
But I think they're really wanting to build up Braun. Also, because they were probably also expecting to build up Ilya Dragunov for mid-card scene and jump him
Yeah.
up there, but now he's out.
Yeah, out for a while.
Yeah.
I also want to tag in with what you were saying with Jay there with the audible. Some one like theory that I saw about it that I thought was like, all right, that's actually really cool. I'm really about that. Is that giving him this title that he's overdue for because of how over he is going to further add to this bloodline storyline, right?
Yeah.
Because the way it was before was, Roman as this, top dog tribal chief champion, abusing his family, abusing Jay. And now the roles are reversed. Roman doesn't have his tribe, right? He's not the tribal chief right now. He doesn't have his title. And Jay's over here broken away from them, like, I don't need you anymore. And now he's got a singles title and he's thriving. You know what I mean? So it adds to that storyline that, when the OG bloodline eventually comes back together, it's not just going to be because, like, Jay had nowhere else to go, but instead Roman's got to go to Jay. You know what I mean? So it just kind of adds to the story.
And also, I mean, it opens up a lane for Jimmy, right? I mean, we could see Jimmy J Part 2 at WrestleMania for the IC title.
Man, if they
If
do,
he
I
can-
hope it's a better match than the first
I don't want to see that.
time.
Like, I would rather see them kind of not, like, them come back together, there be kind of a tension, and them not immediately jump back into a tag team, but kind of be, we're kind of on the same side, but they're wary of each other. I would kind of rather see that,
I
and then
mean,
maybe them eventually come back together.
I think the Jimmy J match at WrestleMania, I mean, was it top notch? No, they definitely had some bad spots, but I think comparably to some of the lower mid stuff that WrestleMania had, I think it was definitely better than those matches.
There was something about them throwing like 45 super kicks in like 12 minutes that rubbed me the wrong way of that match.
I mean, I understand that, but also, I mean, it was reported that their match was cut short because of the previous match.
Yeah.
That was, I forgot which one it was, but like their match was cut short.
It sucks that of all matches you got to cut short, you got to cut short that match. You know what I mean? A match that they've said for years they wanted to have, and you finally have it at WrestleMania and WrestleMania 40 at that. And it's like all the build up is perfect, all the build up's there, and you got to cut it short.
Yeah. So I think they should do them right and have them do another match and not be sitting there rushed because a previous match was.
Maybe
went
just
too
add another
long.
pay per view. Maybe not
I was
WrestleMania.
gonna say you can let them have that match again. I wouldn't
Elimination
necessarily
Chamber.
want to see it at the next WrestleMania, because it would like people would kind of have that bad taste in their mouth from the previous year still. Whereas if you do it somewhere else or give it an extra year, and then let them redo the match, it's like people won't be thinking about it then.
Yeah,
I'm all for seeing him do it again.
and doing it right. Shit, that
Yeah.
quick little spear that we got of Jay on Jimmy on the ramp in the main event of night 2 is more hype than their actual match.
Jade, I wish Jay would get rid of all of his finishers and find something new.
Yeah, I do feel you on that. Like, I don't want him to get rid of this spear, get rid of the Uso splash or the super kick, but definitely he could use something new.
Use them sparingly. I don't. The problem is, you look at Braun Breaker's spear and then you look at Jay's spear,
Yeah,
and Jay's doesn't compare.
yeah,
The splash is fine. I have no problem with the splash, really. Super kick, really, it should just be a signature from him.
yep.
Doesn't need to even attempt to use that as a finisher. It's like that could be set up for him, or he could pull it out occasionally to make it feel more special.
Right.
But I wish he had something new. Maybe during his IC run, he'll come up with something new and start breaking out a new finisher. Hopefully.
Man, I hope so. Because that would be nice. He could use it. All right, let's get to predictions, boys. All right, so Punk and Drew, Hell in the Cell, kicking off the show. What's your official predictions for this? Who needs this more?
I know this is gonna shock you because I think I've gotten these wrong for every match. I have gone the opposite way every time. I'm going with CM Punk.
Okay.
CM
I'm also
Punk,
going CM Punk.
CM Punk makes sense to me. CM Punk is the one of the two of them that has at least attempted to set up a storyline to take place after this match, where he's talked about wanting the World Heavyweight title. He's had interaction, like he had an interaction with Gunther a while back, so I could see him, like, after this match, definitely probably, it's like I could see both of them taking a little bit of time off and him coming back and trying to get in that world title picture.
Yeah. Because of the setup that Punk has done with Gunther, I'm going to lock in Punk as well. But I definitely see a world where Drew wins, Punk takes his break, whatever, and it's just going to, and there this feud get picked back up because it's always going to be like, well, Punk, I already beat you twice. You know, it's just like, you're nothing to me now. But Drew also has not even attempted to set up anything else while Punk has. So that's that little tidbit, that little nugget. Because it's like, can Punk still go after that title and lose this feud? Yeah, because he's CM Punk. But at the same time, like he doesn't have as much credibility.
The other thing is Punk has two feuds set up because he also has the feud with Seth Rollins that they started to do before McIntyre came down through the crowd to come after him again.
Right.
So he's got two feuds whereas Drew set nothing up.
Yeah. So that's why I've got Punk winning. I feel like I feel like Punk losing makes more sense from like a character perspective because it's like I don't think Punk losing hurts anything with the character. I feel like Drew losing hurts a little bit of the character. But at the same time, again, Drew has nothing set up while Punk does. So it's like you give Punk the credibility winning this feud to take him off to the next step. So that's just so I'm with you guys on it.
Also, it serves as Drew's current character where he's kind of he kind of like disregards what the facts are and uses his own logic for everything.
Yep.
So he can go after whoever he wants to, and if they bring up him losing to Punk, he'll just have his excuses ready to go.
Right. All right. What about Bailey Nia?
Give me Nia.
I don't care. I would not be surprised. I'm sure it's 99% that Nia's going to win this match, but I will not. I refuse to pick her in a match. I'm going Bailey.
Alex, I'm gonna let you give yours. I'm gonna give my predicted layout of this match.
I'm gonna say Nia wins. Tiffany cashes in.
Oh, you're going for cash in.
I'm going for a cash in.
Here's my layout. Nia's. It's like I say Nia's winning. Tiffany's gonna be there on the outside, kind of with her, and it's like at one point in the match, it's gonna look like Tiffany's gonna come in looking to distract the referee or catch Bailey with the briefcase or something, Naomi's gonna come out to try to nullify that aspect,
Oh, okay.
nullify Tiffany Stratton, but in the end, all that's gonna do is stop Tiffany from being able to cash in while Nia wins the match anyway. So Nia will win the match, and Naomi will effectively stop the cash in.
Right.
I can see that, but the thing is, we've already seen that twice. In some sort of fashion, we've already seen that twice. I think Tiffany goes to cash in. Nia then stops her. That makes Bailey win. Bailey wins the fight. Then you're going to see a feud between Tiffany and Nia. Whether that goes Nia's way or Tiffany's way, I think at some point Nia or Tiffany says, "Hey, you know what? You're not in the picture anymore. You're not a number one contender because now Naomi is because Bailey's the champion. You're nothing, and I've got the briefcase. So you're no longer this person that I'm supposed to be tied to the hip to."
Right.
And then that kind of just grows and builds.
Okay. What about Damian Finn?
Man,
Give me Damien.
I'm gonna say Damian Priest, but the thing is, like what he said earlier, like Finn needs this match. I'm not gonna lie to you, he does.
I got Finn. To me, Finn needs this more than Damian.
See, the thing is, Finn. I kind of agree. Finn needs it more, but Priest is on this mega babyface rise.
Yeah.
Every time he comes out, he's getting everyone's going crazy. I think he's positioning himself to be basically top babyface on Raw. I mean, he's got some competition. He's got Jay over there. He's not
Yeah.
beating him anytime soon, but he's making his way up to be the top babyface challenger for the world title again. And I don't think you can give him a loss while he's on the rise.
That's fair. That's fair. Not fair enough to sway me. I'm still gonna go with Finn, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, I don't want to sway
Yeah.
you from it. I want you to stick to what you got.
I'm sticking with Finn. I'm feeling Finn needs the win, so that's what I'm going with. What about Liv and Rhea?
As much as I want Rhea to win, I think Liv pulls it off some way.
I agree. I think to continue this feud, you need Liv to win because I think Rhea's in a much better position to go for the chase. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna have Rhea reclaim the title, it's not gonna be at Bad Blood. I'm sorry, it's not. It's gonna be at Survivor Series. It's gonna be at the Rumble. It's gonna be at WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be WrestleMania. Like you're not gonna have Rhea, reclaim this, at Bad Blood.
Yeah, I strongly think it's going to be a situation to where, she loses this match, she falls off, she's no longer in the conversation until, she wins the Rumble. And then she gets to pick her battle.
What I have to say to that, I say screw the feud. Terror Twins are going 2-0.
Oh, okay.
Rhea is reclaiming her title in this. You got to remember, it's a shark cage match. Shark cage matches have one finish. Guy in the cage drops down a weapon trying to help out their ally, and I don't think it's going to go well. You got to remember, this whole feud has been Dominic Mysterio passing weapons into the ring, like seemingly to go against Liv Morgan for a while, but every time it worked for her. This time it's going to be the same thing. He's going to try to give Liv a weapon. Rhea's going to end up using it. 1, 2, 3, new champion.
Okay. All right. So you're going Rhea. Okay. And what about the main event? Cody and Roman in the Bloodline.
Give me the bloodline. Specifically, Jacob Fatu pins Roman Reigns.
Okay.
I agree. I think if you want this thing to build, you have to get Solo some kind of credibility, to be honest. something, and I don't think it'll be straight up, but I think in order for him to be in somewhat of a real threat, like you have to get him to win, or like his team win in some kind of authentic way.
Yeah. We've been teasing Roman and Fatu being in the ring together. We had Cody offering Fatu a title shot and Solo not letting him take it, taking the shot from him. This match, I mean, and the thing is, in this match with these 4 people in it, you would assume Solo Sikoa is there to take a pin.
Yeah.
But he's been getting pinned every event. He's been getting pinned constantly.
He's been getting pinned since the start of his career. What do you mean?
And there's when he came in as the enforcer for the Bloodline, he kind of went on a tear.
Right.
Yeah, beating people up on the side of the ring, but in matches he went like 0-40
After he
But,
beat John Cena, yeah.
But yeah, I think with this match, I mean they've already established Jacob Fatu is a top guy.
Yeah.
He's only been shown to be fantastic, which he rightfully should. I think you give him the pin. You don't. It's like you don't pin Cody again because that's if they're gonna lose, everybody expects Cody to take the pin because that's kind of how it is. If you want him to look strong, you have him pin the champion. How do you make him look strong in this situation? You have him pin the former tribal chief.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going with the Bloodline, and I'm going with the Bloodline with similar mindsets. Number one, I do think Rock's coming back. Rock's coming back. He's going to play some sort of focus in the match coming in favor of the Bloodline, but I do think someone like Fatu pinning Roman. Roman is taking the pin. That's my mindset. It will not be Cody. Roman will be the one taking the pin. Because he can 100% afford to take the pin, even though he's this is his first official match back. He can 100% take the pin. It's not a big deal to his character at all.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like it's his first match back. It's like he comes back in It's like he's come in, he's run through the Bloodline over and over and over again, and then eventually like numbers game gets him and he gets beat down or something. But we've not yet got to see Fatu get unleashed.
Right.
And I think that I heard this on a different podcast. I kind of want to just get your guys' opinion on if this was the case. Imagine the tag match starts. Roman is the first one in, and the entire match he refuses to tag Cody because this is bloodline business. And it ends up being a downfall.
I could actually see that.
I was literally thinking that.
I could totally see that.
I was literally thinking that when Alex was talking. I was like, I could really see a situation to where Roman or Cody starts off, it doesn't matter. But once Roman does get into the ring, Cody's sitting there and asking like, "Hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to help," and you see Roman refuse it.
Yeah.
And because of that, he loses the match. And then Cody's like, "Well, I'm done with this then. Like, if you don't want me after I offered my help, after I said I was done, and then I came back into it just to help you with this, like, I'm done. Like, I'm done." And then you see maybe a thing go along the ways where Roman kind of goes into a stretch of like losing these matches, right? Maybe he is a period of time where he faces each one of these new Bloodline members one-on-one or whatever it may be, and he loses them all. And then that's when you start seeing him, hey Jay, hey Sammy, hey Jimmy, like, hey, I kind of need help here.
Right.
Not a one-man army anymore.
Yeah, I could almost see it. Not necessarily that he kind of goes on a losing streak, but like he gets pinned here, he gets beat up, like maybe next week or something. He keeps trying to go at him by himself, and then just like 1 week he's like, you see him backstage like in a locker room, kind of like sat down, head hung, trying to figure out what to do. And it's like last person you're gonna expect to see walk in that locker room right there is gonna be Jay, but Jay comes in carrying his Intercontinental Championship. He's like, "What's happening to you, man?"
Right.
It's like you used to be the big dog around here. Now you down here. It's like you down here, like with your head down, pouting, can't get anything done.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then there we see like week by week more people start showing up.
Man, the build for Survivor Series is going to be fantastic. Because like, look, if they don't do like the bloodline Survivor Series War Games, Survivor Series is a fucking bust. Obviously, they're doing that, but it's gonna be a bust if you don't do that.
You know what we could get instead?
Don't say Judgment
Day.
No.
Judgment Day.
No.
Be every member of Judgment Day versus Priest and Rhea.
No, I'm tired of it. No.
Listen, I would love to see Rhea just. I forgot what I'm blanking on her finishing move, but I would just love her to do.
Riptide.
Yeah, Riptide everybody, bro. That'd be hilarious.
No, I'm done with it.
Especially Dom.
Look, Judgment Day, they had their chant, they had their moment to shine in War Games last year. All right. Shout out to JD. He took a nasty bump in that one. Shout out to him. Now it's the bloodline time.
You say you're looking forward to seeing that Riptide. Well, good news is when Rhea wins this match, this feud, you know how you officially end this feud? Dominic gets released from the shark cage back down into the ring. She immediately grabs him, Riptide, leave.
Yep.
Listen, you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Shade.
I'm all for it.
Shade. Relax, buddy. Oh, no, I think Bad Blood, though, I think it's going to be a solid pay-per-view. I think it's going to be better than what Bash was, because Bash was kind of whatever. I'll be honest. Bash was whatever. I think Bad Blood's going to be at least very entertaining.
I think all the matches are going to be good matches. I don't care about most of the storylines.
Yeah, see, I don't care about I'm just like, I think it's going to be a fun pay-per-view because at least an hour worth of my time, I'm just assuming that the opening match and the final match are going to be about 30 minutes apiece. An hour of my time is going to be pure cinema. So I'm going to have a good time. That's my mindset because Drew and Punk's going to be cinema, and the Bloodline and Cody and Roman's going to be cinema. Everything else, it's like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. But those are, I know at least probably 45 minutes to an hour of my time is going to be phenomenal. So that's why I think it's going to be good.
And also, you're talking about Survivor Series build up.
Got crowned.
The WrestleMania build up.
I gotta go check on my cat. Sorry.
All right, you're good. The WrestleMania build up into once we get into January and on Netflix, that's when it's going to kick to 11.
True. I love those memes of like someone watching Raw once it goes to Netflix, and it's just like introducing Seth. And it's just like, you're kicking back. It's like Cap's,
Rollins.
Seth fucking Rollins. Like, I really hope they do that, bro.
I hope so too.
I don't know if they will from just like a merch standpoint and stuff. I understand why you might not, but at least one time, I hope they do.
I hope he's the first one out, like down the ramp on Netflix.
Yeah,
and that's just the first thing. Like, even it doesn't even have to be Seth. I don't think. I think the crowd can just chant it, and that would be enough.
Right.
That'd be enough.
Yeah.
But also, I actually forgot what I was going with it. Fuck. Oh, I saw this thing on Twitter. I think it was in the mid '90s, early 2000s, in the Attitude Era, when Triple H was in the ring with, I think, maybe DX, and he was like pointing his finger at this girl in the stands, and she flashed everybody, and it showed it on live TV. It says Raw once it hits Netflix, and it showed that little clip. And I was like, bro, that's fucking insane.
That's fucking facts, though. The one thing that I'm looking forward to most about it going to Netflix is like these really hype moments in a match or like in a segment won't get completely ruined because they have to blur out holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it's TV rules and stuff, but like, it just takes you out of it, where it's just like, especially when it's a super hype moment and it's just nonstop where it's like holy quiet, holy quiet, holy quiet.
Yeah, like I think there was a one Rock's promo that he was cutting.
Yeah,
a good 2.5 minutes of it was just quiet.
Yeah,
because they were just saying it so loudly to where they couldn't unbleep it. It's like, bro, completely ruined this whole promo for me.
Yeah, it did. So like that's the biggest thing that I'm excited for going over to Netflix is like, I'm not one of those people that I want everything to get flooded with fuck. All right, because I think, look, I'm gonna be honest. I just think that's kind of childish. If you go in there and you just scream "fuck" every other word, that's not really entertaining. It's not really childish. I mean, it's not. It's kind of childish. I say that, and I sometimes do it on the shows. Like, my bad. It just kind of happens. Like, from a viewing standpoint, it's just like I don't really want every wrestler to go in there and scream "fuck" every other word. Like, it's kind of like, when you're watching like a movie series, whatever, that occasional fuck bomb, it just like it hits harder whenever it does come out. It's kind of like Triple H's standpoint with blood. It's just like, they don't want to go back. He's talked about it where they don't want to go back to how it used to be, where it was just blood all the time, but instead do blood on really special occasions, because then it feels more impactful. And I kind of feel that way towards, opening the door up for like fuck bombs and stuff. But I'm just happy to get like not have things blurred out during hype moments of just fans chanting "holy shit,"
Yeah, and I agree. And even like during promos, right? I think it just like if it's put into the right spots, those cuss words can enhance promos, especially when a heel is talking.
Yeah.
Or even like somebody like Sheamus, right? Imagine him going backstage talking to a side, I guess, kind of using a sideline reporter. I forgot what they actually call it, but basically a sideline reporter saying like, "Hey, I put on matches banger after fucking banger."
Right.
Like it's just a little like it was one time during entire promo, and it just kind of elevates it that much more.
Yeah. Now, I do think that even going over to Netflix, I think they said they're still going to be like PG-13. Because, I mean, they do acknowledge that a lot of their audience is still kids, and that's fair. So that's why, like, if you're going to drop some F-bombs, just dropping them on occasion, makes it feel more impactful in the moment. You know what I mean? Did they just turn off your light?
They did.
Okay, I saw one of them climb up in the back, and everything just went dark on your screen.
My oldest daughter has a canopy bed, and so the light for the overhead fireplace is right there next to the top of the bed. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it just kind of caught me off guard. Just want to make sure that I saw that right. But anyway,
you can turn it up.
All right.
Turn up the light.
Let's wrap up the show, boys, because my throat hurts. I'm still sickly. All right, let's go around. Last thought, Shane. What you got?
Dad, what you having in your hand?
That my kid is talking to me while I'm trying to cut this promo. Thanks. Love you. I mean, I'm excited. Ready to see. No, baby, not right now. Just excited to see Rhea, Riptide, one of them, regardless.
Right. What about you, John? Last thoughts.
Last thoughts. I'm excited for the show. I think all the matches are going to be great. Most of the storylines going into a bit underwhelming, but every match should be good.
I agree. Very excited for Punk and Drew, regardless of the outcome. I think either one wins is going to be phenomenal. And excited to see The Rock come back, because I'm just putting all my chips on the table that's happening, and that main event's going to be electric. But with all that said, we're going to wrap up the show. So the next episode we've got for sure locked in is we'll have one out the day of Crown Jewel, which should be November 2nd. So that day we should have episode 4 going over our predictions for Crown Jewel. As always, if we manage to fit an episode in there, which we haven't done yet, then hey, we got an extra episode. But the very bare minimum, got the next episode coming out the day of Crown Jewel. So shout out to that. As well, shout out to our Patreon down below. You can check that out and support us further, as well as check out some Rogue Energy and Agent Inc., both down in the description below. And join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. Thanks for listening to the worst wrestling show on the internet. Thanks, bye.